Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Sofa Abby and I like to make videos about home, fashion, beauty, and so much more. Let's get into today's video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Okay, today's video is about one of my guilty pleasures on Netflix, and it's a show called Selling Sunset. Selling Sunset documents a group of real estate agents from the Oppenheim group that are trying to sell luxury listings in the Los Angeles area. Can they find the perfect fit for their high demanding, high value clientele? Maybe, maybe not. And they're trying to reach their personal goals of selling their listings, all while balancing out interpersonal relationships, drama, etc. So, yeah, that's basically the premise of the show. They had 3 parts. The first part dropped last summer. The second part dropped May of this year, 2020, and the third part is slated to drop late July, early August on Netflix. So just FYI, this video may include spoilers, so be alert. Let's get into the show. The show has an ensemble cast of Jason and Brett, the two owners of the Oppenheim group. They're like the brokers. And then you have the real estate agents. You have Mary, Maya, Chriselle, Christine, Heather, Amanza. If I ever say Amanda instead of Amanza, I really mean to say Amanza. And Davina. So that's the show. So just given those dynamics, it can feel like very much like a woman show. There's a lot of women characters and not that much diversity in the show in terms of gender and gender identity. But that's the group. So let's go into a little bit of a character analysis of the characters. Chriselle came into the show last season as the underdog. She was married to probably the most recognizable household name, Justin Hartley, a star on the show, NBC show This Is Us. So she came in with an actress background and she was trying to tap into the real estate market, and right now she's gotten her grounding and she's really primarily focusing on the valley where you can get the most bang for your buck. Last season, Chriselle and Christine bumped heads. Christine was the HBIC, the head in charge, and she did a little bit of hazing last season and was kind of a mean girl to Chriselle. But Christine came into the season a little bit kinder, a little bit softer, and willing to make amends with Chriselle. Unfortunately, it seems like Chriselle still doesn't fully trust Christine and is kind of keeping her wall up, which is perfectly fine. But as a reality TV enthusiast and someone who enjoys it, holding grudges for long periods of time on reality show is just not fun. So Chriselle, you have about 2 more episodes until it expires, and I'm over this little spat between the two of you. But I think there's a way you can be cordial and cute with your colleagues without being too open with them. Christine, let's go into Christine a little bit. Like I mentioned, she's kind of the HBIC. She's tall, platinum blonde hair, really has a presence about her. One thing I would say about her, it seems like she's a little bit more bark than bite. So she seems a little bit softer and nicer than she kind of comes across. A little issue I do have is, does she have the credentials and the resume and the track record to support and to hold up her ego? It just seems like, Christine, where are these amazing listings that you've apparently sold or that you wanted to be seen that you sold? So I hope next season we see a little bit more of Christine signing those deals. Another character in this mix is Mary. Mary had relationships with Jason, an owner, so they are kind of exes. Jason still plays a little bit of favoritism towards Mary, and that's slightly an issue between the ladies in the group because Mary's kind of the token child. And that's kind of like a reoccurring theme. I don't know what HR is looking like at the Oppenheim group, but they really blend professional and flirty and sometimes it makes me uncomfortable. But if y'all like it, I love it. It's not for me to judge. I'm just like, I be seeing stuff and I just want to be like, hello, yeah, HR, I would like to file an anonymous complaint. But that's just me. So Mary, this season we see her balancing her work schedule and her planning a wedding with Romaine. Romaine is her boo. Romaine, I believe, has like a French background. During her ceremony, Mary does like part of her vows in French, and I thought it was so cute. It was really, really heartwarming. It was a very beautiful ceremony. But I don't really be feeling the chemistry between Romaine and Mary. But if you like it, Mary, I love it. Who am I to judge? I mean, it's y'all's relationship. But from my screen, I don't be seeing what you be seeing. So, wishing you all the best. Another thing to bring up is Mary's relationship with Christine is kind of on the rocks. At one point, Mary hosts a bachelorette party between her colleague friends, and then she hosts a bachelorette party, an impromptu bachelorette party between her friends' and Chrishell is the only girl who kind of goes back and forth between the two groups. Mary is confronted about this, and Christine is kind of upset because she's like, I thought you were my girl. And Mary's like, we ain't friends like that. But my thing with Mary is you need to throw out the B word. Boundaries. These are my boundaries. As I really enjoy hanging out with y'all, but these things are separate. So because there's a lot of enmeshment between work, life, personal, there's just a lot of entangling. I don't really love it. Another thing I need to bring up about Christine, she has like a new boo and she's like engaged, and kind of next season they tease her getting married. One thing I would like to mention is like there's a scene where Christine goes shopping, and it's always like a reality show pink flag to me when someone goes shopping and spends like a ton of money, because somehow later on it always comes out like they really don't have like those funds. So if you're like too flashy on reality shows, it always comes back to bite you. But I hope, Christine, I hope those commas and those dollars and everything is adding up, because you know I want you to win. Treat yourself, work hard, play hard. Okay, back to the characters. The next character on the list is Davina. Davina is kind of like a stoic, a little bit cold character, slightly plain. She's a brunette. It's just she doesn't really come across as like a lovable character. She's not really a favorite to me. In the show, we see a power struggle between her and like Jason and Brett, because she's taking on a $75 million listing, and the guys are like, I don't think you can sell that because the price point's too high. And Davina's like, watch me work. So you know, I want Davina to win. I think it would be nice to see her with a little bit more personality, her throwing up punchlines, her throwing up jokes, her just like letting loose a little bit. She just feels very, very stiff. Not a fan favorite, not a favorite of mine, Davina, no. So let's move on to Maya. Maya is also a real estate agent on the show. Maya is a mother. I'm going to repeat that. Maya is a mother. It would be fun to play this drinking game of like, take a shot every time Maya makes a reference to being a mother or mothering or something, because she does it quite a bit. Granted, I'm not a mother and I do not have children. I just think it can be a role and a meaningful thing that you do without it being your personality, if that makes sense. Another reason that I don't love Maya, I understand that this is reality TV, but the way she stirs the pot is a little bit heavy-handed to me. It's not really subtle. She'll walk into a room, put her bag down, and be like, did you hear what so-and-so said? I was like, yo, chill, bring it down. Not like that, like do a little bit more subtly. And she's just not a fan favorite for me. Another aspect to bring up is Maya lives in Miami. Okay, so Maya, I believe, has 2 kids and a third on the way. She lives in Miami and she's working on development properties in Los Angeles, which I'm really, really excited to see. I think this will give her an area to flourish. She's like collaborating with either Brett or Jason. Sometimes it's hard to tell those two apart. I'm always waiting for them to come on the screen. Brett, Jason. But usually it's typically Jason that I saw mainly season 2. Anywho, so Maya has the kids and she's pregnant. Can Maya have a successful career? Yes. Can Maya have the successful career and the kids? Yes. Can Maya have the successful career, kids, and work bi-coastal? That I don't know. That I do not know. I'm not understanding why she's lives in Miami. And that's something that throws me off about the show. It seems like from part 1 to part 2, there was like a break. But what it does, it kind of like breaks that fourth wall. Because do you have actresses playing real estate agents on a reality show, or do you have real estate agents that just so happen to be on a reality show being filmed? And I know that might sound like really similar things, but it doesn't, because it doesn't seem like they are selling real estate all year round. It just seems like they're selling real estate for the show occasionally. And maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, but that's something worth noting. So that's my take on Maya. Speaking of motherhood, let's bring in Amanza. Amanza came from an interior design background. She's like the new girl on the scene, dipping her foot from staging houses to actually selling houses. Amanza, she has 2 kids. She's a single mom, and I don't want to put I put single moms in quotes because they didn't really go into the relationship with the dad and like if he's around, but she says she's a single mom. At one point in the show, Amanza agrees to show one of Heather's listings on her behalf. Something or another happens, and Amanza's late to the listing by like 30-40 minutes. And there's 2 options for Amanza. She can be the frazzled mom, that just can't get it right, or the boss woman who wins in spite of her circumstances. And I would really like her to be the latter. Be that boss woman who wins in spite of her circumstances. And honestly, up until the last episode of the show, I thought her kids were going to be like 3 or 4. I think there might be like 9 and 11. And I was a latchkey kid myself. I just hope you find a community and support system for people to watch your kids. It's just, to a certain extent, I'm not a huge fan of, my kids, the kids, something up with the kids. It's just, in terms of like entertainment value, it's not super, super entertaining. And especially when you're trying to sell like a luxury lifestyle, it doesn't necessarily like mesh. And I'm not trying to be mean because I want her to win. It's just, I want this show to be reality, but I want it to also be entertaining. And like, you tripping over a gummy bear and being late to a listing isn't necessarily like exciting. The kids left the snacks on the floor. It's not like super entertaining. So I hope there's like a little bit more refinement with that. The next character, and maybe like the final character, should I do Jason and Brett? Let me do Jason and Brett. Jason and Brett are the owners of the Oppenheim Group. They're brothers, they're twins, they're womb mates. I thought it was funny and clever on the show. They seem cool, they seem chill. Not much to say about them. I think they're really good sounding boards in the group. Okay, now let's get into Heather. Heather I like as a character. I think she has a good head on her shoulders. I like her listings. I like the way she looks at her career and her goals. She's dating Tarek from the really popular HGTV show Flip or Flop, as well as other shows that he's like kind of a part of. At one point, Heather and Amanza kind of get into it because Heather is like, because she feels as though Amanza is downplaying her relationship with Tarek's kids. Now, Tarek's ex-wife, Christina, if I were her, I would be annoyed with the way Heather is speaking about her role and responsibilities with them children. I don't know. I would just be annoyed because I'm like, girl, you're doing a lot. You're doing a lot. That being said, I don't want to take for granted the fact that Heather could really have meaningful relationships with Tariq's children. And they could, confide in her in a way that they can't with their parents because she's, if we're being honest, she's not their parent, but she is an influential guardian in their lives. I think it was a lot. And also Tariq might have like a non-compete. If he's not going to be on the show, don't reference him so often. And I think Heather's a smart enough, established enough real estate agent to stand on her laurels without gravitating back towards relationships and relationship fodder to be like her drama. I don't know. It's just, I'm not saying it's like lazy, but it's like, oh yeah, I sell houses, but let's talk about boys. And I really appreciate there's this one episode where Heather has this listing and her colleagues are kind of having a spat in the middle of this open house and she's like, y'all, I'm at work. And she's trying to be a professional. She's professional honey in the building. So I appreciate that about her. But it's something worth mentioning. So I'm mentioning it. Other things this is like one scene that kind of made me uncomfortable. Jason and Heather were at like Jason's condo, which is very, very nice. And Heather was like, would you like me if I was single? Or something along the lines. It was like super flirty. It was super weird. Like, y'all need to stop mixing work and cocktails and just life and love. No. Keep them separate. But who am I to judge and dictate how y'all maintain your work, friendships, love, relationships? And that's about all the characters. There's also, like I mentioned, there's Romain, Mary's boyfriend. I could do less of him on the show. There was like so many scenes of him being upset with some of the women about people being shady about his zirconiac ring. I don't know. I feel like Nene Leakes talking to Peter. Romain need to stay out of women's business. Okay? I was like, get him out of here again. I could do less of him. So, let's talk about my recommendations for the show. My recommendations for the show would be one. I think it would be cool if you took Amanza and you made her like the condo queen. Seeing Jason's condo in the area really showed that like you can have really, really, really great listings for condos. So it would be nice if she was just like focused mainly on condos because it's kind of like more of a baby step and it's like condos, people who are looking for condos like kind of know what they want. So it's like, I wouldn't say it's easy market, but it's like a baby step into like the big houses. Another fun thing would be having two agents who had listings on the same street and having a competition on who could sell the listing fastest. A third item would be selling a house unstaged. That would be really fun. I've seen it done before on Bravo TV where they go into a listing and they're expecting it to be furnished in the stage and they walk in and look, what? It's empty. It'd be fun to see selling a fixer-upper, and it would also be fun selling to virtual clients. I know with like this show was filmed like before COVID, but it would be fun doing a transaction like all virtually from like foreign buyers, etc. Other things I would like to see on the show would be more community service. I believe part 1 they had community service, but it would be nice if the Oppenheim group like took up a cause that they really liked. It could be domestic violence and rehoming people. It could be homelessness. They could do a race together. It'd just be fun if they did like something with team building and community service. Another thing that would be fun, also mentioning team building, is if we laid off of the cocktail hours and charcuterie boards and just did something that didn't involve like cocktails and eating, and did like team building, taking a hike. There was season 1, y'all. I know the ladies don't like to exercise, but it'd be fun if you did something that involved team building with the group. That would be fun. Another thing I would like to see would be more diversity. I believe Amanza might be biracial, but I don't want to identify her without her actually doing it herself. But it would be nice to see people of different races, different genders, and also different body types Also maybe people of the LGBTQIA plus community, just a little bit more diversity in the show. It feels kind of a little bit Hollywood with the look of the cast, how everyone looks the same, and also like because there's a lot of ladies on the show, so maybe even a few men sprinkled in the mix. Another suggestion, Chrishell, your ex-husband was not featured on the show, so I don't think your divorce, as painful as it was, has to be show fodder and has to be featured on the show. So I think that's something you are more than welcome to keep private. I really enjoy the show. I think it's fun. I'm looking forward to part 3 that comes out soon. Bravo, Netflix. I hope y'all enjoyed this review. What are some of your comments down below? How do you like the show? How could they improve? And yeah, let me know. Let me know. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video.